150 years ago, 7 men stood firmly behind their principles. 150 years ago, a bond of friendship, a passion for justice, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge gave birth to one of the grandest fraternal organizations in history. Brothers, on this, our 150th anniversary, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, strive to keep the standards high. Our journey has just begun. Life is the journey we share. Home is the haven we seek. A place to find meaning and purpose. A place to discover who we are and what we believe. We may leave, but we always return. Coming home to rediscover ourselves, to reconnect with our brothers. In June of 2005, the Brothers of Sigma Chi came home, returning to a place that resonates with historical, emotional, and spiritual meaning. The occasion was our 150th anniversary celebration, where we gathered to reconnect with the past, reconsider our values, and relive some of the happiest and most significant moments of our lives. This is the amazing legacy of Sigma Chi. 150 years of service and celebration. 150 years of brotherhood and fellowship. 150 years of strength and courage, action and commitment, heroism and achievement. What began with 7 young men has now inspired 7 generations. In their founding principles, we discovered meaning and purpose, family and friendship. Returning in celebration to Sigma Chi, where it all began so many years ago, and where it still lives today. What a journey we've had. What a grand way to commemorate 150 years. To all Sigma Chi brothers, welcome home. On a glorious summer evening in Cincinnati, nearly 2,000 Sigma Chi's, sweethearts, and friends gathered to celebrate our 150th anniversary. It was a grand, formal event, drawing brothers from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brother Mike Ditka.
Thank you very much. Thank you, I appreciate it. It's great to be here. Brothers and friends, on behalf of the Sigma Chi Fraternity, I am honored, pleased to welcome you to this 150th celebration of Sigma Chi. Now, it's an honor to be your first host this evening. Now, tonight is a night that will forever remain in your hearts. It's a part of Sigma Chi history. Now, our founders succeeded in their mission, and that was to create something better. They built a fraternity 200,000 living members strong. That's right. A fraternity with a foundation that is unmatched in the Greek world. A fraternity with superior leadership and character development programming. A fraternity with true lifelong bonds. And we have so much to celebrate, and tonight we will celebrate all of it. For the journey has truly just begun.
Brother Mike Ditka graciously gave of his time to initiate an evening of celebration. A celebration which inspired all brothers to reflect upon our proud heritage, to honor our happy return to the birthplace of Sigma Chi, and to renew our commitment to sustaining Sigma Chi as a powerful, forceful, and viable organization, committed to perpetuating the ideals of our founders.
Your attendance here tonight demonstrates your willingness to fulfill an obligation taken voluntarily to ensure Sigma Chi continues to promote the ideals of friendship, justice, and learning. To the sweethearts, the wives, the fiancés, and the friends in attendance, your support does not go unnoticed. Be it a recent friendship or a 50-year marriage, you are the individuals who allow us, Sigma Chi, to continue our pursuit for the betterment of the character, for our character as men. I thank all of you for coming to Cincinnati. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime occasion, because I know I'm not going to be at the next one, gang. But don't feel bad, because I've worn that road out pretty good coming to this far.
The occasion was marked with an award emblematic of Sigma Chi's excellence, induction into the 150th Hall of Fame. 150 of our brothers were selected for induction. Dick Hester and Bob Hayden, chairman and co-chairman of the 150th celebration, provided background on this prestigious award.
One very special aspect of this weekend's festivities was the naming of Sigma Chi's 150 most prominent living members and their induction into the 150th Anniversary Hall of Fame. An independent committee was formed to select the Hall of Famers for this once-in-a-lifetime award. They thought this was going to be a really easy and fun job. What they discovered was it was the most difficult task. And it was difficult because we have so many brothers that have made such a difference in their communities and the world at large. Their passion, their leadership, their commitment have brought great pride to Sigma Chi, and these 150 brothers are most deserving of being inducted into our Hall of Fame.
You know, we talk about fraternity and what it means. I'm going to tell you what it means to me. It means character. Character is the most important thing you have in your life. If you don't have it, you'll regret it, believe me. So you got to know that that's the important thing. And it depends on the attitude that you decide to take through life, because that is the most important thing you have, because that's the only thing you can control. You know, I tell you what, I've learned a lot. I'm not going to stand up and tell you I've had a great attitude every day of my life, but I know that I have a pretty darn good attitude now. Basically because nobody's writing anything bad about me. All right, let's take some time to reflect on Sigma Chi. Reflect. It's a word that evokes a multitude of emotions and memories. Now, since my time in Sigma Chi, I recall a lot of experiences. I recall my time as an undergraduate, the comfort, the confidence of Sigma Chi in Pittsburgh provided me. The focus on ideals that kept me grounded in a potentially ungrounded time, and that's very true. The lifelong friendships that I formed so many years ago, I still have. And I remember the friendships. I also remember the fact that we got into intramural wrestling, and I was a football player. I never wrestled in my life. And anybody who's wrestled knows how hard it is to wrestle. So I got in the best shape of my life. We went out there for the interfraternity wrestling thing. And I got to end up wrestling guy in the finals on the football team that played with me that weighed about 60 pounds more. Now, of course, Iron Mike won. Good memory. And I also recall the stories of the fathers and sons who strengthened their relationships through the bonds of Sigma Chi. These legacies enjoy a special Sigma Chi relationship. Now, sometimes it extends through several generations, as it does for the Peterson family. John Peterson, Pete Peterson, and Peter Phillips are here tonight, and they're going to allow us an opportunity to hear their legacy story. Let's take a moment to reflect on this proud history and Sigma Chi tradition.
I knew Sigma Chi well because of my father and his brother, my uncle, that were Sigma Chi's years ahead of me. And I was very proud to be asked to be a member of Sigma Chi in 1951 at Indiana.
The moment I'll never forget is being pinned by my father with my grandfather's Grand Council pin at initiation. And it was an honor and quite a special moment.
I got pinned in February, my freshman year, by my grandpa. He said, "You will always be my grandson, now I can call you my brother," and then shook my hand and looked me in the eye, and it was a good feeling.
That is a family tradition that I'm not only proud of, but I think that it's something to be very appreciative that a family sticks together when the ideals of the White Cross of Sigma Chi perpetuate through your family.
The reason why I always wanted to join Sigma Chi was it's just been in my family. I've heard about it, I've always wanted to do it. Everyone else did it. I love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun.
Indeed, brothers and sweethearts, we represent all of you. In addition to our normal Sigma Chi experience, we've been able to further enjoy our legacy experiences that has only strengthened the relationship within our family and further strengthened our relationship as brothers. Likewise, the Sweetheart of Sigma Chi acts as an extension on the experience of our fraternity. I'm famous for this. Our sweethearts share our values and ideals and those that they touch. They also inspired a legendary song in 1933 that has become a part of our history. This is the one and only Sweetheart of Sigma Chi. Brothers, please join me in singing the Sweetheart of Sigma Chi to these wonderful women that have meant so much to us and given their all, who have joined us tonight.
The girl of my dreams is the sweetest girl of all the girls I know. Each sweet co-ed like a rainbow trail fades in the afterglow. The blue of her eyes and the gold of her hair are a blend of the Sigma Chi. The blue of her eyes and the gold of her hair are a blend of the western sky, and the moonlight beams on the girl of my dreams. She's the sweetheart of Sigma Chi.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking on behalf of our international sweethearts in attendance this evening, please welcome former Sigma Chi international sweetheart, Karina Shaver.
In Sigma Chi, we're all familiar with the concept of a legacy, as we saw just here tonight on the stage, a father, a son, a grandson, all who share in this wonderful Sigma Chi experience. I have been fortunate enough to have married an incredible Sigma Chi myself, and hope someday that we will have a son who can share in that legacy. As sweethearts, our role is very difficult to define because it's constantly evolving, as it should be. Over the years, sweethearts have played the role of part confidant, part cheerleader, sometimes holding a mirror up to the organization so it can learn how to better grow, and at other times, sharing just a little bit, hoping that all of you will appreciate what an incredible experience Sigma Chi can be. I truly believe that the teachings of Sigma Chi were meant to extend beyond the bounds of your organization, and sharing them through your words, your actions, your decisions may just have been, in my humble opinion, exactly what your founders had intended. And you know what else? I believe that the world today needs exactly what Sigma Chi has to offer, perhaps more so now than ever before in your 150-year history. Speaking just personally, if I have had any success at all in my career or with my family, I know it's because I've stood on the shoulders of 7 great men and the countless others who have followed in their footsteps. And I am forever grateful for my Sigma Chi experience. Though my vow of lifetime commitment may not have been said in the same words as yours, I assure you it is there just the same. And as you all reflect tonight on your own Sigma Chi experience, return to the organization and its core values, and renew your own lifelong commitment to Sigma Chi, remember that you've shown so many of us non-Sigma Chis in your lives the impact that Sigma Chi can have. Embrace that, extend that, and keep that legacy alive. Thank you.
I really am honored because I've always considered myself just a guy going through life. I've been the most fortunate guy. You know, I heard the Lou Gehrig story. Lou Gehrig said I'm the luckiest guy that ever lived. He's wrong, because I am. And that's the truth. I've had the greatest people in my life from day one, from my mother and father to my high school coach, through all the great coaches, Coach Hallis, Coach Landry. So I've been very, very fortunate. And about the last 40-some years with a pretty nice lady. So God bless you. Enjoy yourself.
In keeping with the evening's grand scale, the entertainment offered a breathtaking display of strength, balance, and athleticism. There were 3 performances throughout the evening, and each one served as a compelling visual metaphor that expressed the true values and founding principles of Sigma Chi. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brother Keith Kroc.
Is this an amazing event or what? Woo! This is unbelievable. And I'll tell you, how about Ditka? Question. Who would win in a fight? Ditka or God? Trick question. You're right. Ditka is God. I am truly honored and humbled to be your 64th Grand Council and your host for this evening.
Brother Keith Kroc followed Brother Ditka and invited us to focus on our return to Sigma Chi, and to understand that by physically coming to Cincinnati, we were symbolically returning home to rediscover ourselves.
Over time, as we grow older, we have new experiences. We develop new relationships and sometimes drift away from those things that we have grown to cherish and enjoy. Take a moment, return first as a Sigma Chi, and follow the journey you've taken since. It's time to return and rediscover the Sigma Chi experience.
Life is the journey we share. Home is the haven we seek. A place to find meaning and purpose. A place to discover who we are and what we believe. We may leave, but we always return. Coming home to rediscover ourselves.
I'd like to take a moment and just share with you a little bit of my Sigma Chi story. And it's really about a brother, one man, Gardner B. Allen. Gardner was a Grand Tribune for 10 years. He was a past Grand Council. He was my first Sigma Chi mentor. He was my big brother, and he was my spiritual godfather. Gardner was the man who taught me about the 4 F's: faith, family, fraternity, and friends. He was the guy who said, Keith, if you ever get a chance to build a company, build it Sigma Chi style, based on the ideals of the White Cross. And Gard said, you know what? We need you to be Grand Council someday with your 2 other little brothers, Dick Hester and Paul Quiner. So what Gard said to me, he goes, little brother, after workshop, come on down to Atlanta, spend some time with me. We'll have the drink of Atlanta, Coca-Cola, and we'll talk about it. And he said, as he kind of gave me a hug goodbye and he was taking off the EC meeting, he goes, the one thing that I do know is that if I die tomorrow, a piece of my heart is in you and a piece of your heart is in me. But what makes this an unbelievable story is an hour later, he suffered a fatal heart attack in the middle of the EC meeting. And I'll never forget that night where the 3 little brothers got together and we sat out on the baseball diamond and on the bleachers in Bowling Green, and we toasted the Gard, and we talked about the different things that we could do for Sigma Chi, and we really honored him. And I'll never forget that next morning, we had a memorial service for Gard. There were 1,400 undergraduate brothers at workshop, memorializing Gardner. Then we flew back to Atlanta for his funeral. And what was amazing was that There were about 500 Sigma Chi's there at least. The church was just overflowing. We had the white rose ceremony, and I'll never forget, I'm coming up to all these older Sigma Chi's I'd never met before, and I'm going, hey, I'm one of Guard's little brother. And these guys were going, well, so am I. Well, so am I. I meet President Gerald Ford's son. Well, I'm one of Guard's little brother. Guard probably over his lifetime had about 200 little brothers. And that's the impact that you can have.
After Brother Croc's personal reminiscence, we moved to the recognition portion of our program. The University of Cincinnati was acknowledged for hosting the gala and having the highest percentage of alumni present. Purdue University and San Jose State were also recognized for bringing the highest percentage of undergraduates to Cincinnati. All three were awarded a $10,000 leadership grant.
This brother was so excited about the event that he pre-recorded a segment specifically for us 10 years ago.
We then paid special tribute to a very influential brother who was being inducted into the 150th Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in my left hand, I have a copy of tonight's top 10 list. Let's go, let's do it, let's get it over with. Top 10 signs you have selected a bad fraternity. Top 10 signs that you have pledged your allegiance to a bad fraternity. Here we go, number 10. Every Saturday night is Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman night. Number 9. Morning, noon, and night spent chugging pancake batter. Number 8. Secret handshake consists of quietly holding hands for long periods of time.
There's also another award winner that could not be here this evening that wanted to take an opportunity to express his gratitude to Sigma Chi. Fortunately, we were able to get this brother his award prior to the event and allow him to express what the 150 Hall of Fame award means to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Tom Selleck.
Look what I just got. This means a lot because Sigma Chi has always meant a lot to me. It's meant a lot to me for the relationships I had and the relationships I've developed and the people I met who also happen to be Sigs. There was always a special bond, and I know a whole lot of guys who may have not had the benefit of celebrity that would probably deserve this more, but I'll certainly accept it on all their behalf, so thank you.
Watching the show highlights, I suppose folks in Hollywood would say that Sigma Chi has universal appeal, and it must. Because on June 13th, a Congress that can't seem to agree about a lot of things agreed on one. It agreed to pass a resolution honoring Sigma Chi on its 150th anniversary.
Next, Brother Croc introduced a video from the June 13th, 2005 congressional session, which saluted Sigma Chi on its 150th anniversary. We were then honored with the presence of Congressman Ike Skelton.
September 1895, Brigadier General Benjamin Piatt Runkle came to the University of Missouri and dedicated the Xi chapter of Sigma Chi. During his dedication speech, he stated that high places are vacant and men of fraternal spirit must fill them. We all know that honorable achievements only come to pass if there is a source of inspiration. And each of us who have the privilege of wearing the White Cross knows where inspiration comes from, that wonderful experience known as Sigma Chi. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Mike Enzi.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to be with you tonight. It's great to have this resolution This is a time of return. And so last week, I found out that there was a little problem getting one of these resolutions passed. I found out that the Senate doesn't do resolutions for fraternities. And so I went to the person that was objecting the most, and I said, "You gotta do one." He said, "No, we don't do one for fraternities." I said, "That's a good rule. We should never do one for a fraternity that's less than 150 years old." The Senate is a place of precedence. So there is now a precedent that we do these for fraternities over 150 years. So we have the precedent in place for the 200th anniversary. But I've got to tell you, the Senate's a tough place to get things done. I would not have been able to get this done had it not been for a great bipartisan effort. Congressman Skelton had to call the Senate and tell them they needed to do it. And they did. And so we're here tonight to celebrate with you and to return. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Skelton. Senator Ensing, on behalf of Sigma Chi Fraternity, we thank you in Washington. Thank you very much, brothers. Thank you. Thanks so much. All of these highlights are a great example of the importance Sigma Chi plays not only in our lives, but also in all levels of society. Be it public image, be it pop culture, in the role of our government, we are shaping the leaders that impact the world. I thank all of our brothers who have traveled a great distance and are in great numbers here tonight. Congratulations and thank you to all of our Hall of Fame award winners this evening, and a special thank you to Brother Letterman, Brother Selleck, Brother Skelton, Brother Ensing, for sharing their passion of Sigma Chi with us. So this concludes our second portion of the evening. Over dinner, take a moment and think about those two things that I mentioned. Who would you thank for your return back here to Sigma Chi? And if they're here at the table, or if they're here tonight, go up and shake their hand and thank them. The second is, on your return, think about who you would get to return back to Sigma Chi who hasn't been involved in a number of years, and talk about that at your table. Tell your Sigma Chi story. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brother John Huntsman, Sr. John Huntsman hosted the Renew segment of our celebration, encouraging us to continue our lifelong quest to find what is noblest and best, not only in our lives, but in the lives of those around us. This was our opportunity to rekindle our friendships, refuel our passion, and renew our commitment to the founders and the principles of Sigma Chi.
I think the core values become even more important in this day and age.
Life just moves faster, kind of the MTV generation. I think it's a lot tougher than it was probably, 25 years ago.
A lot of these young men that probably would make good Sigma Chi's are predisposed by their own parents and by themselves from what adverse publicity they may have received about Greek life on campus, the so-called Animal House behavior.
I think it's true that our core values have not changed from the beginning. What's probably changed through the years is that each generation needs help in interpreting those principles. And it's been Sigma Chi's gift through the years, I think, to be able to reinterpret itself with each coming generation.
On this momentous occasion, the Brothers of Sigma Chi demonstrated their strong commitment to service and humanity. Since 1992, more than $3 million have been donated to the Children's Miracle Network. And now we've entered into a partnership with the Huntsman Cancer Institute.
Well, my mother died almost 40 years ago of breast cancer, and she died in my arms. I was holding her. She was a woman who had very little in life. Our family grew up with very little in life. My mother was one of these wonderful women who never had a negative word to say about anyone. Not the Phi Delts, not the Betas, not anyone. And when she passed away very early on of cancer, it broke my heart. I mean, she was my heroine in life. And then my father died of cancer, and before that, his second wife, my stepmother, died of ovarian cancer. And I've had cancer twice in my life, and 1 out of 2 men in America will have cancer, 1 out of 3 women.
Cancer has become the #1 health concern in America, affecting millions of people a year, more than AIDS, alcohol, and smoking-related deaths combined. Every one of us will be affected by cancer in some way. From researchers to doctors, to equipment, treatments, and patient care rooms, every aspect of the Huntsman Cancer Institute was created with one thing in mind: hope. Huntsman Cancer Institute is filled not only with the latest equipment, but also with a sense of light and beauty that will provide comfort for patients and their families, and inspiration for the scores of physicians and researchers searching for cures. The spectacular building houses state-of-the-art detection, diagnostic, and treatment equipment. Researchers at the Huntsman Cancer Institute are in a unique position to study the genetic basis of cancer because of access to the largest population database in the world, an unmatched integration of vital statistics, clinical records, and genealogical information. These studies help identify people at high risk for cancer and also lead to new ways to prevent and treat the disease. Yet, with all the technology and all the advancements in such a short time, the need for funding is still great. One man cannot possibly do it alone. It is time for each of us to do our part, to be, as we profess in the Jordan Standard, men of good character. John Huntsman has been a major supporter of Sigma Chi for decades. He has built a cancer institute that you have access to, research, the Learning Center, even second opinions. And he has personally pledged to match each dollar raised for cancer research with a $1 donation to the Sigma Chi Scholarship Fund. Someday, someone you love will develop cancer. What you do today could ease their burden tomorrow. Join us in beating cancer. Join us in building hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Brother Dick Hester, Brother William Schubert, and Brother Elliot Hilsinger.
I am honored to be here this evening to present a check to each of one of our preferred philanthropies. First, I would like to present a check to Dr. William Schubert, Sigma Chi, and former president of the Cincinnati Children's Hospital Foundation. Brothers and sweethearts, this check is in the amount of $500,000. Well, brothers and sweethearts, I am so pleased that you're applauding, but the check is wrong. Since we printed it last week, we've raised more than $500,000 for this hospital. This shows our continued dedication that Sigma Chi has to providing resources for our Children's Miracle Network family. Brother Dr. Schubert, I am proud on behalf of your brothers, their families, and friends to present this check to you.
We thank you very much for everything that you have done for children, not only through the Miracle Network, but through this check tonight. I can only say, on behalf of Children's Hospital, I'm glad to be a Sigma Chi, and I'm glad you're all Sigma Chi's, and I'm glad you're all here tonight. And I welcome you to Cincinnati.
Brothers and sweethearts, I do remember when I was a pledge. I know it's hard for some of my undergraduate brothers to believe. At once, I was young. At one time, I had lots of hair. I even had abs. But I remember what my Magister told me during our first meeting. He looked at us, he said, always remember that the biggest part of the word brother is other. And we as Sigma Chi's must give to others, not just to one another. In that spirit, I would like to present a second check. This in the amount of, I hate being wrong. And for twice now, this says $520,000, and we're already over $550,000 since the check was written to Brother John Huntsman. On behalf of your brothers for the Huntsman Cancer Institute, we will help you cure cancer. And we will help you cure cancer. One of my personal heroes, and I say it again, we will help you cure cancer. Brothers and sweethearts, I hope these presentations are emblematic of our commitment that Sigma Chi has to service and to changing the lives of others. Thanks to all of you, our brothers, our families and friends, for the support of our two philanthropic endeavors. What I'm really excited about is hearing about the continued success of our organization and the ongoing support of these two wonderful charitable organizations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage a member of the Foundation Board of Governors and chairman of the Making a Difference Capital Campaign, Brother Chuck Watson.
Thank you very much. I am Chuck Watson, and I am a Sigma Chi. I'm very honored to be with you this evening. We just witnessed one of the many ways that Sigma Chi is making a positive impact on the world. Charitable donations are wonderful and they're necessary, but the world needs more. We need leaders. And I'd like to take just a few minutes to talk about Sigma Chi's commitment to leadership training. Earlier, you heard Brother John Huntsman mention the development of young men. These young men we speak of are those in our undergraduate chapters. Sigma Chi has developed some of the most revolutionary leadership programming available in the country today. We believe we must continue to develop leaders for the future. Not just Sigma Chi's future, but for the world's future. By developing individuals who demonstrate their leadership by putting their character in action, these Sigma Chi's will make a positive impact in their life and the lives of others. Sigma Chi is serious about its commitment, but there's a need for support. Sigma Chi will need the strongest of arms from the farthest parts of the globe to renew their commitment to an organization that will not be bound by the regularity, but instead will be an organization that will continue to lead, one that will redefine leadership as we know it today. The time to act is now. The programs we need to accomplish these goals are in place right now. But we need your support to ensure that they reach more of our Sigma Chi undergraduates. Let's just take a moment now and give you an idea of exactly what we're doing and what we want to accomplish.
We want to be able to fund over $40 million of programs in 3 specific areas, but overall to be able to reach more and more of our young people and to really distinguish Sigma Chi as a premier collegiate trainer.
Horizons program is for the young members of Sigma Chi who have at least 2 years left in their undergraduate career. And we put them through 5 days of experiential learning. You know, you talk to these guys after they come out of this program. It is a life-changing experience for them.
We've heard back from parents who say, I've often wondered why my son joined a fraternity. I've often wondered what Sigma Chi was all about. But to see the change in my son, to see his commitment, his passion, to see that new perspective in his eye has made this obviously much more clear to me about what Sigma Chi is all about.
You go to a leadership conference and you hope to hear 1 or 2 good things that might make a difference in the way you do things back home. But with Horizons, it was a complete overhaul in your thought process. It was phenomenal.
Horizons is probably the best pure leadership skills training that's available today. Sigma Chi I'm so proud of because we went out and hired some of the best professionals available.
Horizons is structured in a way so each day has a different mission and you identify a certain thing. But if you were to go back to your chapter and say, these are the 7 days of Horizons, these are the things that I learned out of them, it's not going to work.
You're crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy. You have to live those things. You have to show them. You understand them in your own life, and other people learn them from you just by the way you live them.
Lead by example.
Yes.
The Balfour Leadership Training Workshop is over 50 years old. It is the largest gathering in the Greek world. It is an intense, about 3.5 day program.
We train these guys in terms of leadership, building plans, executing the core principles.
We try to bring in the major officers from all of our undergraduate chapters, along with chapter advisors and alumni, and now even a division for emerging leaders.
I've often thought that the goal of the Balfour Leadership Workshop has been to take back to the chapters what you've learned. We have one of the most preeminent leadership organization curriculums in place. Everything from being able to associate yourself with a distinguished faculty advisor to sitting down across from lunch with a brother from across the continent.
We believe in training our future leaders. You can ask anybody to do a job, but if you can't provide them with the right tools to do that job, you kind of left them empty-handed.
Cornerstone is another great example, and that's all about creating a series of alumni who are mentors throughout the school year and throughout the summer.
Mentoring means to advise and to counsel and help analyze and suggest, and that's the duty of mentors. They do not do anything. They do not execute any actions. Those actions are up to the chapter, but they're there to give perspective on all the problems the chapter may have and to counsel them as how perhaps to solve them.
The Cornerstone program has worked so incredibly well in California, and where we piloted, and we're gonna spread that out now into the rest of the country because we believe that is having a positive effect on every chapter that it's reached.
The beauty of it is that these programs are all integrated, so you get a synergistic effect. So it's 1 + 1 + 1 = 1,000.
This is like any business, if you think about it. I mean, any business has a strategy, and when you find something that works, the first thing you want to do is expand that. Well, this is not indifferent from that. I mean, we've seen these programs change kids' lives, and that's got to mean something.
I guarantee our alums will step up to the table and they will write those checks because they will know that they are making a difference, not only in this individual's life today, but they're making a difference in his life for the rest of his life and everything else he ever does.
The toughest question you gotta ask yourselves is that, what if we don't do this? Then all we are is a social fraternity. If we don't go to another level, if we are satisfied with the status quo, we might as well shut her down.
Brothers, sweethearts, guests, we don't plan to shut her down. In fact, I want to take this opportunity to officially announce our $40 million campaign to raise funds necessary to triple the undergraduates going to Horizons. We want to expand Cornerstone across North America. And we want to dramatically increase and enhance our training workshops. Now, brothers, it's true we've been a little busy in what's called the quiet phase of our campaign. And I'm very pleased to announce that as of today, with just really notifying a few major donors and a few new ones, we have now raised, on our journey to 40 million, $20.2 million of new pledges. But you know, I also want to thank every one of you who has or will contribute at any level to this campaign. Because every single gift that contributed to the success of this unparalleled leadership effort is meaningful. Thank you very much for all the help, and let's go raise the rest of this $40 million together. Thank you.
And with this, John Huntsman brought the 150th Gala celebration to a close. For everyone in attendance, it was truly a spectacular evening, a memorable experience, and a worthy tribute to the 150 years of friendship, learning, integrity, service, and achievement. The future is now. A dream of true happiness that begins with us. One generation nurturing the next. Brother to brother. Offering the wisdom and guidance, the knowledge and kindness that sustains life and renews hope